For weeks now, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been out there trying to give herself what I'm going to call the moderate makeover. And of course, it all began when she endorsed Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker of the House. She took a lot of hits from her former friends. You know, a lot of people in the Republican base didn't want her to do this, but she did it. She cozied up to McCarthy, who now this past week said he'll never abandon her. So I think, that's kind of telling. But it left a lot of us scratching our heads, right? Like, why is Marjorie Taylor Greene suddenly going on Fox News and saying, oh, I don't believe that Q stuff anymore. I got sucked into internet crap that a lot of people do. And yeah, it's totally weird. I'm not that person anymore. Why? Well, this past week, we got our answer as to why. And it turns out that Marjorie Taylor Greene understood that she needed a bit of a makeover because she has eyes on a bigger prize. And that bigger prize, according to multiple different Republicans, is likely the VP slot on Donald Trump's 2024 ticket. Because even though she's trying to pretend that she was an extremist for all those years, even before she got elected into office, she has still maintained that Donald Trump is the greatest thing that ever, graced this country, possibly even the world. So she has not lost that alliance with Donald Trump, and according to these reports, she may be on his short list for VP. This is what Steve Bannon had to say this past week. She's both strategic and disciplined. Yep, I'm going to have to go ahead and stop you right there. No. Strategic? Maybe now, but in her past, absolutely not. Disciplined? No. This is an act. It will all come crumbling down. She will not be able to hide her true self forever. Just ask George Santos. She's both strategic and disciplined. She made a power move knowing it would run up hard against her most ardent crew. She was prepared to take the intense heat and hatred short-term for the long-term goal of being a player. Now, actually, that I don't disagree with. I do think that's, pretty obvious. She understands, listen, I can take the heat right now, and that's the strategic part, not the discipline part. I can take their hatred right now, but it's going to get me more in the long run by cozying up to the people who have access to the money, they have access to the donors, they're the ones that have all the power. That's where I need to be. So that's what we're seeing. Bannon continued. She sees herself on the short list for Trump's VP. Paraphrasing Cokie Roberts, when Marjorie Taylor Greene looks in the mirror, she sees a potential president smiling back. And another source who has advised Marjorie Taylor Greene in the past told papers, quote, told NBC News, her whole vision is to be vice president. So Bannon and this source, a former advisor, do say that, yep, she's got her eyes on that VP slot, but Bannon goes further and says she thinks she'll be president one day. President Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll give you a moment to go vomit after hearing the phrase President Marjorie Taylor Greene. But apparently that's what she thinks is possible. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, believe it or not, did manage to actually raise $12.5 million for her reelection in a very safe Republican district where she stood virtually no chance of losing, which puts her, by the way, in the top 10 of the people running for House and raising money this past year. So she's raised tons of money. She's good at that part. The question is the media going to let her get away with this moderate makeover? And unfortunately, the answer to that is probably yes. They'll move on past the crazy statements, the crazy video of her screaming at AOC through her mail slot before she even came to Congress. They'll forget all about the Jewish space lasers. They'll forget about her 9/11 trutherism, her COVID denialism. All of that will be erased and swept under the rug, and all we'll see from the media is this new moderate, disciplined, strategic Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's terrifying. Because the media is going to let her get away with it. The media is going to help her do it. If it weren't for that, this would fail. But conservatives know how the media works, they know how the public works, and they know how to use that to their advantage. Hi everyone, this here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, Don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.